after the Browns informed Jim Schwartz this morning that he was being passed over to hire Todd Monken, Schwartz was visibly upset. This is according to Tom Pelissaro. Said goodbye in the building, let folks know he wasn't planning on returning. So right there you have Schwartz leaving the building. It ends up being Kevin Stefanski and Jim Schwartz for Todd Monken trade. I don't think I'd sign on for that.
Well, you know, what you get is, if you go back when this happened, you and I were talking, and, you know, whether it's high school, college, or pro, when you get passed over for a job and people kept saying, well, he's under contract. Well, there's a couple different ways to look at it. First of all, they passed him over a number of times. So they said, we want you as our defense coordinator, but we don't trust you as our head coach. These guys are very proud, especially these defensive coordinators. These guys are proud guys who take a lot of passion in what they do. Jim Schwartz has made plenty of money. This is about him wanting to be the head guy again, and based on what he's done his 3 years here in Cleveland, which has been very, very outstanding. And I actually like Schwartz as the head coach because he's been there before in the CEO stuff. So Schwartz coming back, I never thought that was really a possibility unless he was the head coach. Now, people say, well, he's just going to have to deal with it because, you know, he's on contract. And I say to that, these guys spend a lot of time together. Do you want a coach in the building who's distraught? Do you want a coach in the building who feels he should have been the head coach? You know, Todd Monken is coming in. He's already having to run uphill because it seems like he was the guy that was left, not the guy they wanted. So, you know, I wish Jim Schwartz the best. He's another guy I'll root for, just like Kevin Stefanski. He did an outstanding job here. I'm not sure why he's not the head coach, but once again, I'm not in on those meetings. But the idea of him leaving, I never thought it was realistic for him to stay if he wasn't the head coach. Why would you?
I couldn't agree with you more. All right, now we're going to head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
Hey, what's up, Dave? Taylor from Columbus. Just wanted to share my thoughts on the idea of the Browns saying that they wanted to keep Jim Schwartz as the defensive coordinator if they were to hire somebody from not within the organization. And I would think that would be a bonus for that individual because they have an established winning defensive culture. Maybe not the team is winning as a whole, but the defensive side of the ball has been established as a winning unit. And I just saw that we hired Todd Monken as the head coach, and he was my least favorite candidate. I did not want the Browns to hire him out of all the candidates, so it was ironic that happened. Let's see what happens.
As always, appreciate all the voicemails. There's a couple ways to look at that. The defense came out in favor of Schwartz pretty vocally. If you're coming in, I don't know that you want that kind of split loyalty as a head coach. I don't think I'd want that. Monken is not my least favorite. He's a guy, hadn't been a head coach in the NFL, has been a head coach before, guy that's been around. I don't think he's going to be overwhelmed. The other thing that I've said is you don't go from players coach to players coach. That doesn't work when you don't like what you have. Monken's not really a players coach. He's very much a my way coach.
Well, yeah, you know, the thing about a player's coach, and it's all different, but in the NFL, a coach that players like, or a player's coach, however you want to see it, Kevin was very relaxed. Todd Monken's going to be in your face a little bit more. Players want to maximize their talents, and that's what hopefully Todd Monken will do. Now, Schwartz's issue is with the Browns brass, Andrew Berry, and you know, everybody else involved, right? So it has nothing to do with you know, Todd Monken. And I bet you've asked both Schwartz and Monken, they'll say the same thing. Schwartz doesn't want to do that to Monken. They all know how hard this job is as a head coach. It's hard. It's a hard job at any level. Imagine the complexity at the NFL level is amazing, but they don't want to do that to each other. Schwartz doesn't want to do that to Monken. Now, he's not happy with Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry and the way they did it, but he wants to leave not only for him, for what he deserves, but he also doesn't want to do that to Schwartz. Schwartz doesn't want to do that to Monken. He wants to make sure Monken has a fair chance. They all know how hard this job is, and with the Browns coming in, their lack of talent on offense, and now these guys on defense, there's a lot of guys that fit this scheme that will be troublesome moving forward because the scheme maximizes their skill set. If they're in another scheme, maybe they're not as successful. So it'll be interesting. But yeah, this issue with Schwartz, he has an issue with Berry and, you know, everybody else involved in that elite group, right? That's who the problem is with. And the coaches take care of each other, and he has no problem with Todd Monken. he has a problem with Jimmy Haslam and everybody else.